From Ross-Ade Stadium in West Lafayette, it's the Big Ten opener between the 8th-ranked Wolverines of Michigan and Purdue. Jim Harbaugh's squad off to a 3-0 start. Purdue at 2-1. Joe Davis, Brady Quinn, Bruce Feldman, our rules expert Mike Pereira back in Los Angeles. 59th time these programs have met up. The first time since 2012. Incredible atmosphere here in West Lafayette, sooner than anybody expected. In Jeff Brom's first season, back-to-back wins for the first time in 5 years, and in search of their first top 10 wins since 2009. Michigan, meanwhile, one of the most inexperienced teams in the country, but a chance at a 4-0 start. Back-to-back 10-win seasons under Jim Harbaugh. Michigan won the toss, deferred to the second half, so the Boilermakers will get it to begin. James Fogg to send it away. Off we go from West Lafayette. And it's a touchback. So Purdue to begin at the 25-yard line. And it's been a quarterback competition at least through camp. And David Blau came off of the bench the first 2 games, but was started the last game against Missouri, played really well, and today plays what he thinks is the biggest game of his Purdue career.
And one of the things you notice right away is his accuracy. 7th in the country in completion percentage, and he's fearless. He'll stand in there in front of pressure and still deliver the football. He's got great touch and uncanny ability to shape throws into any type of window.
An encouraging start for this offense in Jeff Brom's first season. That's a large part of the reason why they brought him to Purdue, his offensive mind. From the 25-yard line, they swing it outside and start with a trick play with a throwback to Blau. A convoy in front, and David Blau takes it near midfield. The Boilers start with a bang and a gain of 22.
And this is a staple of Jeff Brom's offense. Trick plays and gadgets. He mixes them in throughout the course of the game, and because of the talent difference between Michigan and Purdue, they're going to have to do this to gain an advantage.
As good as Purdue's offense has been to begin, they've not faced a test like this. Michigan's defense very talented. Jeff Brom knows it. Talked all week about their speed and athleticism. Even though they had to replace 10 starters from last year, once again, one of the best units in the country. On first down from the 49. Blau steps up, has room to run. David Blau, back-to-back first downs. This one and a gain of 12 inside the 40.
That is going to be key for the rest of the day for this Purdue offense, is David Blau utilizing his legs. He's going to have to step up into the pocket because there's no one accountable for him, and a lot of the man-to-man schemes that Don Brown, the defensive coordinator for Michigan, is going to run today.
Put him under center for the first time, and Brian Langford Johnson in at running back. Off-play action. Blau setting up the screen. Langford Johnson can't get away with a stop coming from Mike McCray. The only returning starter on this Michigan defense was the only guy out there that had a chance.
The captain of this defense for Michigan, he's one of the guys that is very good at diagnosing screens, diagnosing the run plays, and coming up to make tackles.
Second down 9 on Purdue's opening possession. Blau lets it go. That is incomplete. And they will say that it's uncatchable, no flag. Coverage from Lavert Hill as he looked for the senior Gregory Phillips. Third down.
One of the things that makes Michigan's defense so tough is their pressure looks. Watch the interior of the defense. You're going to see number 59 slant to his right. And then number 10, Devin Bush, he's going to come around and find the open space. Each week, Don Brown has something different in his blitz scheme. He's going to show his opponent.
Well, third down and 9 for the Boilermakers. Michigan brings an extra man. They get home, but Blau gets it off, and it's tipped and incomplete. Noah Furbush with the pressure. Devin Bush got his hand on it, and the Wolverines are lucky that he did.
Once again, man-to-man coverage for the Michigan defense, but they had two safeties back deep. You set up a screen, you always have to be careful for the man that's responsible for the running back in coverage, and in that time, it was Devin Bush. Almost coming up with a big interception.
Boy, and if it gets over him, a lot of room out there for Richie Worship to run. Instead, the punt team comes out. Rocking punt dropped inside the 5. Well done by Joe Shopper. He's been one of the nation's best over the first few weeks. And Michigan's offense comes out for the first time with Wilton Spate. Coach Harbaugh thinks he's ready for a big game. He's taken a lot of the criticism over the first few weeks of this offense, Bears.
Yeah, and rightfully so. He's missed some plays here and there, but some of the things you got to like about him is his size. He's big. He can see over the line and take all the punishment that quarterbacks take in the Big Ten. He's got a strong arm, can stretch the field vertically, and does a good job of getting his team in the right play with their check with me system.
Only 5 touchdowns over the first 3 games for this offense. Start out of the shadow with their own goalpost and get a seam for Karan Higdon. Close to a first down on his first carry. We'll see a few different running backs for Michigan. Higdon, Isaac, and Evans.
And Michigan has not had problems on offense in the field. They've been able to drive the football down the field. It's in the red zone where they really have the big issues.
Try this drive with a 23. And give Ty Isaac his first carry into the teeth of the defense for a short gain. 3rd season for Jim Harbaugh as the head coach of the Wolverines. 23-6. Back-to-back 10-win seasons. The first guy to do that to open his Michigan tenure since 1902.
What about the confidence that he showed in his quarterback? When we asked kind of about his struggles throwing the football, didn't want to hear any of it.
No.
He believes in his quarterback. He thinks he's going to get things back on track.
They bring Peoples-Jones in motion. He takes the fake, and Ty Isaac slips his way to the 28-yard line with a sure-handed tackle from DeJuan Hunt. Now, Wilton Spate, 12-3 as a starter. He considered transferring when Jim Harbaugh took over for the 2015 season, but decided to stay. Backed up Jake Rudock. He had to come in because of an injury against Minnesota that year. Led him to a game-winning drive. And then last year was pretty solid, but a disappointing start in a lot of ways this year.
One difference you'll notice is he's got a glove on his left hand. Has had some issues fumbling the football. They put the glove on his left hand to help give him better ball security and grip.
Looking at a 3rd down and 5. Boilermakers bring heat and get home with Marcus Bailey getting the 2nd Purdue sack of the afternoon. And Spate still down.
And Michigan's got a very experienced backup in John O'Korn. A lot of people been thinking about maybe they should go to John O'Korn at some point with the struggles that Spate's had so far this season. O'Korn, a former starter at Houston before transferring to Michigan.
Wilton Spate just a second ago getting to his feet, walking off under his own power after he was sacked on that 3rd down play and stayed down for a while. The punt team comes out for Michigan, and it looks like Spate headed back to the Michigan locker room. But a defensive battle in this game so far. Already 4 3-and-outs out of the 6 possessions. And it's actually not Will Hart. It's Quinn Nordine who has handled the first 2 punts for Michigan. He's in there again for this one. For the fair catch. And no flag. He was given room. Now the flag comes. Now the flag comes out late. Now, Purdue offense that had 35 yards on the first 2 plays has just 16 since on 9 plays. Trying to get it going again. On 1st and 10, they go to the trick play back. David Blau trying to get away from Bush, but can't. Michigan had this one snuffed out with Chase Winovich finishing him off.
The guy you always have to worry about when you run a flea flicker, which is what that just was, is the guy who's responsible for the running back. As he hands off the football, you can see when Worship pitches it back, Devin Bush has him in man-to-man coverage. And once he knows that he's no longer running the football, he's going to go try to find the quarterback for a negative play.
Leading the Big Ten in sacks now, 5 this season for Bush. Puts Purdue at a 2nd and 14.
We've got 3 guys on this defense in the top 10 of the Big Ten right now in sacks.
And one of the best in the country overall at getting home to the quarterback, which they nearly do again. Blau instead takes off and crosses the 45 to make it 3rd and 7.
How about the job that Justin Wilcox has done at Cal? I mean, really turning around a team that was predominantly known for its offense, but now becoming a little bit of a defensive team.
USC coming off that huge win last week in overtime against Texas. On 3rd and 7, pressure coming. It's incomplete as he looked for Worship. Michigan bringing 5 there. Chase Winovich, the man that got home.
You can see the tough part about this matchup for Purdue is David Blau can't hold on to the football that long. They've got to have quick answers for him. Right now, he maybe pulled the trigger a little bit too early. I think he had more time than he initially thought. And what happens as a quarterback, when you get hit early in a game, all of a sudden that internal clock makes you think that you have less time on every play afterwards than you actually have.
You took a few hits in this stadium.
Oh, I knew you were going to bring it up at some point.
And I guess in Michigan Stadium as well. Good high punt and a fair catch from Peoples-Jones at the 16. And either one of these offenses able to get it in gear so far. Michigan will now give it another shot with a new quarterback in John O'Korn, who's in his 2nd year at Michigan. Former Houston quarterback and got off to a great start there. Was the rookie of the year in the Athletic Conference, or the American Athletic Conference, a few years back. Played in 8 games last year, included 1 start, was spayed injured.
Biggest key is get the running game going again for the backup quarterback. Give him some help.
So they go on 1st down, and Higdon is pummeled after a short gain. There have been some that have clamored to give O'Korn a shot regardless of Spade's health. They did not want to have to go this route. Spade leaving the game with an injury.
With all the offensive struggles this team has faced so far this year for Michigan, now you have to deal with a different guy behind center. His cadence going to sound different. The timing, the routes to the outside are going to be a little bit different. All things that everyone else out around the quarterback now has to adjust to.
O'Korn's first pass play lets it fly right on target for a 1st down. That is Nate Shanley, the walk-on out of Plymouth, Michigan, with a reception.
Talked about it earlier. Look at the cushion on the outside. This is where Michigan's going to have to make their production in the passing game. Utilize the cushion that the Purdue defensive backs are giving you. You're going to have all day to throw. This is a good offensive line for Michigan.
Pretty decent start for him, despite having replaced 3 all-conference players. Really lost a lot on offense across the board from last year. Higdon hits the hole hard and has a nice 1st down gain of 6. I mentioned O'Korn was a starter at Houston. His head coach there was Tony Levine, who actually is now on the Michigan staff as the special teams coordinator. But it was on the Purdue staff, beg your pardon. It was a pretty good run at Houston, those 2 guys had.
He knows a little bit of something about John O'Korn and his weaknesses, too. I'm sure he shared that with the Purdue staff.
Second down and short. Higdon again with a nice cutback for a 1st down. Across the 45, and we check in with Bruce.
Guys, I talked to Tony Levine before the game. He said he had a great 20-minute chat with John O'Korn on the field in warm-ups. He said he's a great kid. I'm really happy for him here.
5th-year senior out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. More than 3,000 yards when he was a freshman at Houston.
Powerhouse down there, St. Thomas Aquinas. One of the top schools in the country in regards to high school football.
Decided to transfer from Houston after he lost the job to Greg Ward. Went on to a great couple of seasons there. From the 47. Chris Evans takes the fake, and O'Corn hits Poggi out of the backfield. The fullback lowers his shoulder with a first down to the 41 on his first touch of the season.
This is exactly what you'd like to do for your backup quarterback. Give him some easy completions. Start off with a boot to his right, an easy completion in the flat to Poggi. And you can see what the game plan is right now for the Michigan Wolverines. It's bring in all those big bodies, wear down the Purdue defense. They don't have as much depth. It's hot out there. They're wearing all black.
Two tight ends again. The first down from the 42. Evans got contacted in the backfield and lost a half a yard to bring this first quarter to a close, with Robinson and Izuchukwu combining on the tackle. Defensive battle in this Big Ten opener through 15 minutes. On to this second quarter in West Lafayette. Ready for the second quarter here at Purdue. No score for the first time this season. Michigan goes scoreless in a quarter, but a good drive going here. They've marched 41 yards in 6 plays. John O'Corn in the game at quarterback. Wilton Spade leaving with an injury. He lets it go against the blitz and has the tight end Sean McCune for a first down up to the 29. Part of this very deep tight end group that Jim Harbaugh has at his disposal.
It's kind of a staple of Jim Harbaugh, going back to his time at Stanford, all the different tight ends that he had. Talked about this group, probably deeper and more versatile, from his words.
They bring in their bigger running back, Ty Isaac, with a fullback Khalid Hill in as well. And it is Hill leading the way. Isaac with a cutback and a gain of 5. Ty Isaac, the best 3-game start for a running back at Michigan in a decade, but so far today splitting carries evenly with Evans and Higdon.
Kind of surprising too. Chris Evans has fumbled a little bit, struggled maintaining possession of the football.
Back to Isaac on second down. This time met at the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 3rd and short.
This is the style of football that Michigan wants to play. Get back to being able to run the football, impose your physical dominance on the Purdue defense, and see if all these early carries wear down this defensive front. As I mentioned before, they don't have a ton of depth.
Picked it in for Isaac. 3rd down 4. Play action. O'Corn a deep drop. Hits the crossing tight end. Zach Gentry to the end zone. He's in. Touchdown, Michigan. The first of the converted quarterback's Michigan career.
And this is a mesh concept. So you're going to see number 83 work all the way across the field, and you get guys essentially running a rub route for him. That's why he was so wide open. The former quarterback turned tight end. He's able to get some separation and get it in the end zone. How about that? Michigan fans who are worried about this offense in the red zone this year.
A change in quarterback and a change in result in this red zone trip. Nordine on for the extra point. And Michigan with the game's first points minutes into this second quarter. Not just a converted quarterback, but a formerly highly touted recruit at quarterback. As the reception goes to the pylon for the touchdown, the Wolverines strike first. Back here in West Lafayette, where Michigan's on the board first, and John O'Corn in his first drive of the day at quarterback, a perfect 5 for 5 and a touchdown.
Tight ends on that drive, 3 catches, 36 yards and a touchdown. It was the play action pass game where the Purdue defense has been a little too aggressive, allowing for some open space in the back end and the big plays.
Boy, if you look up beat coordinator in the dictionary, you see a picture of Nick Holt. Intense. Knox back to return this kick. James Fall was very good at putting hang time on him. And out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
One guy starts, the other guy gets his opportunity in the second quarter, and then they play the hot hand.
Chendelar, sophomore from Princeton, Kentucky, and in a lot of ways the more physically gifted of the two quarterbacks. Rolls away from pressure, throws it back to the speedster Terry Wright, who bounces to the outside, weaves his way for a first down across the 40. That's not easy for either guy being a part of a quarterback controversy, or at least a timeshare.
I'm never a fan of it. I mean, I think you pick one, you go with them, allow your offense to get adjusted to them. But, you know, from Jeff Brom's experience playing quarterback, whether it was in college or in the pros, he talked about going through it before. And he said, look, this is the best thing for our team right now until one guy clearly is the better of the two.
First down from the 41. Play action. Sindelar rolls. Looking downfield. He can run if he wants to, and does for a first down. Tackled by Hudson, but he got 13 and has injected some life into this Purdue offense.
There's an example of the creativity. They're going to boot, but he's going to look to throw back to his left. Once he doesn't see anyone, he sees green grass and he takes off, and that's part of the physical ability that Elijah Sindelar has. He's bigger, has a stronger arm. I think both quarterbacks between Blau and Sindelar are pretty athletic. And that's the key today. They're going to have to run versus this Michigan defense.
And again, they're without their starting running back, really their top two running backs. Sindelar under pressure. Incomplete, out in front of Terry Wright. Chase Winovich forced the errant throw, 2nd and 10.
Got to move the pocket. You got to have some quick passes, some screens, different things again to try to keep this Michigan defense on their heels.
There is Tario Fuller, who is only the starter because Markel Jones was injured in the opener. So again, Purdue down to its 3rd and 4th running backs today. And now it's DJ Knox. He takes the fake. Sindelar throws another screen, and Terry Wright hits it hard. Terry Wright stays on his feet. Inside the 20, inside the 15, and it's first down on a gain of 35.
The speedster out of Memphis, Tennessee. That inside screen has been effective versus this Michigan defense. Watch once he comes back inside. There's plenty of running room. And again, with this man-to-man defense that Michigan plays many times, once he beats one man, there's a lot of open grass.
And he was the one guy that really scared Michigan on film when they took a look at the Boilermakers. They say it was inside the 10, 1st and goal. Sindelar looks back across the field. Open man and a Purdue touchdown. That is Bryson Hopkins from Sindelar. So Michigan gets its first touchdown when they go from Spate to O'Korn. Purdue answers when they go from Blau to Sindelar. J.D. Dellinger ties this game. 5 plays, 75 yards, and they cap it off. Sindelar finding Bryson Hopkins, and we're tied at 7 midway through the 2nd. They got a good one going here, 7-7, back-to-back touchdown drives for these two teams, and more of the same for Purdue. We talked about Michigan's struggles in the red zone. Purdue now perfect this year.
Yeah, #1 in the Big Ten, and I think the reason why is they're so aggressive. They get down there, they put in some trick plays, they take some shots. They're going to find a way of getting that football in the end zone.
Over Crawford's head. A touchback. All right, so John O'Korn and the Michigan offense back out there. Touchdown drive on his first run. Started in the Maryland dive and motion McCune out. Play action on first down. He's well protected, but nowhere to go to the ball. So he tucks it and scrambles back to the line of scrimmage. Jalen Robinson was chasing him, 2nd down.
And a better job of the Purdue defense. Being more disciplined with their eyes, not being over-aggressive with some of the play-action pass game like they were a series ago.
Quite a statement from this group last week. Held Missouri to 200 yards in Columbia. Only 3 points. It was the first road game in 20 years where Purdue didn't allow a touchdown. On second down, a toss for Higdon. He's hemmed in and popped short of the line of scrimmage. That is the captain, Drowan Bentley, from his inside linebacker spot.
Well, started with number 27, Navon Mosley. He's going to help force the ball back inside to Bentley, but the leading tackler on the defense, number 4, finds his way once again to make a bone-crushing hit. I'm telling you, man, when he wraps you up, you're going down.
He's got that old-school Big Ten inside linebacker look. At 6'2", 260.
No neck whatsoever.
None. 3rd and 10. Purdue shows blitz and brings it delayed. O'Corn over the middle, and it is intercepted. Navon Mosley with a pick. Purdue has it at the 26.
And it all starts with the indecision. Look at all these bodies up around the line of scrimmage. You don't know who's coming, who's not. And he could feel that pressure eventually going to get there. And Navon Mosley able to make the timely interception. Look at Antonio Blockman, who's able to put his hand in on the football. Once again, the Purdue offense in good field position. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jeff Brom did take a shot right here.
One of those trick plays or just an end zone shot?
Either way, he's going to be aggressive. That is his MO. That's his blueprint as a play caller.
I've already seen 2 trick plays. One worked, one didn't. Elijah Sindelar led him on a touchdown drive his first time out there. He tries to set up a screen and just buries it as Khaleke Hudson read it perfectly.
And credit Khaleke Hudson because he stayed home. He was able to tie down number 88, Cole Herdman. They were trying to kind of set up a little bit of a misdirection screen to him.
Hudson, the guy that's replaced for Bill Peppers at that Viper spot, Heisman Trophy finalist. One of the 10 new starters on this Michigan defense. It's amazing that they've replaced 10 guys and been this good.
Mike McCray, number 9, the only returner, but a lot of guys who had experience, didn't start a bunch of games. Still very good players.
2nd and 10. Sindelar rolls across his body again. This time Cole Herdman, his other tight end, stiff-arming his way for a first down inside the 15. He stepped out of the 14, fighting his way for a gain of a dozen.
You're not going to have much time to hang out in the pocket, so they've got to roll Sindelar out. And it's been their tight ends on a lot of these misdirection boots throwing back across the field. But look at the strength of Herdman. A lot of good tight ends on this field.
Hopkins already a touchdown from his tight end spot. Now Herdman makes it 1st and 10 from the 14. Sindelar off play action, zips one to the end zone and incomplete, looking for Jackson Anthrop. The coverage from Josh Metellus. The helmet popped off, and because there's no flag, he's got to come out for a play.
Thought that hit from Tyree Kennel had the potential to be a little bit late. It's kind of unnecessary. Didn't hit him above the shoulders. Maybe a little bit of contact there with the helmet, but usually you're looking for them trying to launch with the crown of their helmet. That wasn't the case from Kennel.
They're going to have those indicators in order to get the targeting penalty. Launching usually one. Here comes a trick play. Instead, Langford will keep it. And Langford Johnson has a short gain with Devin Bush making the tackle.
That's what makes it so tough if you're trying to defend this Purdue offense. They have so many different gadgets and trick plays and misdirection that you can't play as fast. And this is a Michigan defense with just a ton of team speed. And they're in a lot of man-to-man situations. So if there's any indecision, a lot of times Purdue able to find a little bit of success that way. But still, keep an eye on the tight ends. Those are the guys that like to target in the red zone.
Swinging Sindelar out the back door on that last play. Michigan covered it well. Put it in a 3rd and 8. Fake to Langford Johnson. Said he's got it. A short gain. Interesting play call on 3rd down. Mo Hurst with a tackle. And the field goal team comes out.
very surprising. I mean, they were close to an 80% pass team in 3rd and 7+. So a bit surprising, more conservative play call from Jeff Brom. I'm sure he wants to capitalize on the field position and the turnover and be able to come away with points.
We've talked about how he prides himself on being an aggressive play caller. They run it on 3rd and 8. J.D. Dellinger comes on for the field goal to give Purdue its first lead of the afternoon. So they settle for the field goal, but take the lead nonetheless, taking advantage of the takeaway. Jim Harbaugh's squad with its second quarterback in the game right now. He's picked off. And the field goal from Dellinger makes it 10-7 Boilermakers here in the second. After a scoreless first quarter, the offense is generating some life in the second. It's 10-7 Purdue. Joe Davis, Brady Quinn, Bruce Feldman, Mike Pereira, our rules expert back in Los Angeles. Kakoa Crawford goes back to return this kickoff from Spencer Evans. Michigan trying to start the season 4-0 with a very inexperienced squad. Purdue, meanwhile, has won back-to-back games for the first time in 5 years under first-year head coach Jeff Brom. In search of their first top 10 win since 09 when they toppled Ohio State. And another touchback. So it remains a 3-point game. They run a draw to Chris Evans, who has some room. And Evans ushered out of bounds at the 37. 9 seconds, 1 timeout.
Well, obviously, Quinn Nordine has quite the leg. There's been YouTube videos of him kicking, what, a 70-80 yarder. So with 9 seconds, you can still complete a football somewhere in the middle of the field, try to get him in that relative range and get that timeout.
In a game he's hit from 55, they need to get to the Purdue 38 for that.
Yeah, he'd be good from here for the 80-yarder.
Yeah, pretty close. Corn trying to get there. Lofts one for Peoples-Jones. It's broken up at the last moment. Josh Okonye stuck his hand in to save the day.
And this is perfectly defended by Okonye. Tell you to stay in phase. That means stay to the hip of the wide receiver. Once he gets beat, he catches back up, and then he gets that late hand in there to knock the football away. Otherwise, this is a huge play for Michigan and giving them an opportunity to be in field goal range.
For 3 seconds, probably one last heave-ho here for John O'Corn. Extends the play. Uh-oh, look out. Able to get rid of it. Finding Evans. He's able to turn the corner, but surrounded by Purdue bodies and drilled out of bounds by Antonio Blackman to make a statement to end his first half. The Boilermakers looking for their first top 10 win since 2009. Life in this program again with Jeff Brom at head coach. They've got a 10-7 lead at halftime. And getting ready to start this second half. And as Purdue looks for its first top 10 win in almost a decade, Jeff Brom set the tone before the game.
Hey, we got the Boilermaker statue out there. All right, you guys have seen the Boilermaker statue. You know what these fans like seeing? They like seeing people play their tails off every single play. Every single play. Blue collar, finding a way, stepping up to the plate, finding a way to get it done on every snap. And if you look right out there, what does the Boilermaker do every single time? Okay, he hammers down. And then he hammers down. And then he hammers down again. And then he hammers down.
And his Boilers have played with a lot of fire through 30 minutes and have this lead at halftime. Joe Davis, Brady Quinn, they're holding Michigan to 131 yards, a little more than 3 yards per play.
Yeah, I mean, really the energy, the excitement that he brings, you can see it. His players play with it. His defense is playing with it right now. And the biggest difference in this ball game is generating turnovers. They got one. They're able to get a field goal off of that. That's where you see the difference in the score right now. But again, a backup quarterback, you kind of expect to have a little bit more of an advantage. So that's where I'm curious to see where Michigan will go offensively in the second half.
Yeah, as John O'Corn came into the game, Wilton Spade leaving with an injury. And Michigan set to get it to begin the second half here in the Big Ten opener between Purdue and 8th-ranked Michigan. Spencer Evans will kick it. in front of a sellout crowd here at Ross-Ade Stadium. First one in almost a decade. Cole Crawford thought about it. Now we'll bring it out after the hesitation. And it wound up being a poor decision. Antonio Blackman drops him at the 15-yard line. We go down to Bruce Feldman.
Joe, Jim Harbaugh said they got to find a way to get their offense on track. He said Purdue's defense has played really well. Jeff Brom was pleased with that defense. He was not happy about the officiating. He said, we've got some horrible calls go against us. I said, anything you can do about that? He goes, well, it is what it is. We're Purdue.
You try to change what that means around here. Not won many games in recent seasons. 4 consecutive years where they've had 3 or fewer wins. Try to match that total here in week 4. So John O'Corn back with the offense. They begin from the 15-yard line with a play-action pass. O'Corn hits the crosser. It's a first down for Nate Shanley. The walk-on with his second catch of the day. And a good start to the second half for the Wolverines.
You see really for both teams what's been effective in the play-action passing game is the crossing routes, because the guys who are responsible in coverage either get caught up in the run fake or coming across the field. How about this for a backup quarterback? He's looking back saying, wait, what was the call? Believe me, I've been there. You call it, you read it off, then all of a sudden your mind goes elsewhere. You're trying to remind yourself before you have to run the play.
John O'Corn started this game 5 for 5 after coming on for Wilton Spate, but is 4 for his last 9 now. Drive begins with a Chris Evans run. Good vision to bounce to the outside, but he's hemmed in and dropped by Marcus Bailey.
Better job by the Purdue defense to keep contained. Marcus Bailey has had himself a day. Sophomore out of Columbus, Ohio. Old rival high school of mine from back home, Hilliard-Davidson, but a couple sacks. Really been a big part in coverage as well and getting pressure on John O'Corn.
Kaufman take care of his program though. You guys handle him pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Second down 7. Pressure coming. It's a screen. Perfect call for the defense, but they're able to recover momentarily. The ball comes out. A scramble for it. And who's going to get it? It's still loose. Purdue says that they have it. And they do. Second takeaway of the day for the Boilermakers.
There's no better call versus a pressure than a screen. Fortunately for Higdon, he was able to keep going downfield, but didn't feel the defender coming from behind. It's always the ones you don't see that end up knocking the football out. And credit the Purdue defense once again, answering the call, getting a turnover. And there it is, Lorenzo Neal. Getting that big paw in there to knock the football out.
And then recovered by Easy Chuku, and Michigan fans are thinking, man, we got to get a running back who can hold on to the football. You had Higdon putting it on the ground there. You had Evans fumbling last week, and we've not seen a ton of Ty Isaac.
Yeah, Ty Isaac only 4 carries today. You know, the guy who's been the one consistent player on their offense. Surprising.
It's a little bit banged up last week, but they thought he was good to go today. On first down, Sindelar stands in against pressure and is nearly intercepted by Devin Bush.
We had Maurice Hurst in his lap in a heartbeat, and that's the tough part. When you see Devin Bush continually blitz, blitz, and blitz, then when he's up around the line of scrimmage, you're anticipating him coming and adding to that rush. But that time he dropped back out into coverage, almost got the interception.
And Michigan's defense counter with a takeaway. Something they've been really good at under Don Brown in his 3rd season now. Play action and a free rusher. Bush putting his imprint all over this game. Winovich helping him, drop him back at the 26.
He's the spark plug of this defense. You look at his versatility. Watch when he reacts to this run. Right there in the middle of the defense, they've always got some type of pressure they like bringing. You could see them bring Noah Furbush across, and really that allows Devin Bush a clear lane to Sindelar.
He started this game 3 for 4, much like John O'Corn has struggled since. 3 for his last 10.
This is where you got to think about utilizing your legs here for Sindelar and try to run potentially or buy time.
Instead of draw play, room for worship. He needs the 47, breaks the tackle to get to the 40. And it's Devin Bush there again with a tackle.
That's what you expect to get on 3rd and long. You never know with Jeff Brom because he is so aggressive and so creative. But the way his defense has played, and you're going up against a backup quarterback for Michigan, you continue to play the field position battle, keep hanging close, keep seeing if you can get some more takeaways and better field position.
Michigan's defense becoming a big part of the story as well. The ball back to the offense here. Chopper to punt to Donovan Peoples-Jones. High hanging punt. And all he can do is signal for a fair catch at the 14-yard line. Midway through this 3rd quarter, nobody able to strike since halftime, and it remains 10-7. (10-7) game, 8:02. Michigan back on offense at the 14-yard line. One touchdown coming early today on a John O'Corn touchdown pass to Zach Gentry.
He's been working to his tight ends. Let's see if they try to set up a matchup inside.
Pressure coming. O'Corn in trouble. Stays on his feet. Tries to extend the play. A man comes free for a first down. John O'Corn with a big play to get Grant Perry the ball and extend the drive.
Unbelievable. John O'Corn somehow manages to get out of Juwan Bentley's grasp and ends up keeping his eyes downfield after you see him kind of pirouette, spin around, keep his balance. Look how he tucked the football and he got it back out to find Grant Perry. This has kind of been the story of the Purdue defense when they came into this game with only 1 sack. They had a lot of opportunities versus Ohio U and just really couldn't get their quarterback down.
From the 30 on first down, a deep drop-off play action. Bentley's right there. Able to heave it incomplete. Looks like Gentry was in the area. They're going to make an announcement here.
In the area. 2nd down.
Because there was a receiver in the area, no flag.
I think the thing about John O'Corn is he's not the most gifted athlete, but he's sudden. If you're a quarterback and you just move a little bit, but suddenly you can make some guys miss in space.
One play on 2nd down. No room for Evans. It'll be 3rd down and O'Corn has time. It's McCune for a first down into Purdue territory. Sean McCune, the tight end, for a gain of 29.
And it's the crossing routes time and time again. I see him right on the left side of the screen. That's number 41. Thieneman matched up. And once he breaks across, gets a little bit of daylight, Thieneman loses his footing. Accurate football by John O'Corn. Looked like he was going there the entire way.
Ty Isaac comes in. Not been used a ton today after he was their most effective rusher over the first few weeks. O'Corn looking middle of the field. Incomplete. Over the head of Nate Eubanks. Flags come flying. And could we have targeting here?
Foul. Defense. Targeting. Number 41. Plays under further review.
That's their leader in the back end, Jacob Thieneman. They will take a look at this. And you figure it's going to stand.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that this call would be reversed. He hits him above the shoulders to the head and neck area with his shoulder. And, you know, unfortunately, because it's a bang-bang play, it looks forcible as well.
Unfortunate situation for Purdue. And unfortunate for Michigan, too, that Eubanks is banged up. Wolverines on the move for the first down of the Purdue 22. They faked Evans. O'Corn scans the field. Now checks it down, and Evans slips out of initial contact, then is dropped on a gain of 3. Bentley and McCollum both there.
This Purdue defense does such a good job of getting their depth when they drop into pass coverage and then rallying up to make tackles on the ball carrier, especially when quarterbacks check down. Second down, this area of the field. This is typically that area where Michigan likes to be a little bit more aggressive with their shots. With a couple of opportunities, not only get a first down, but potentially a touchdown. Maybe take some shots at the end zone.
2nd and 7. Back to the ground. Evans in a tight hole, able to squeeze through and set up 3rd and short. Big play here late in the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 1 for the Wolverines. The fullback Hill leads the way for Evans, who's got a first down to the 10.
Just a power running offense you anticipate seeing from the Michigan Wolverines. It's typically Big Ten football. Running to that left side of the offensive line with all that experience, in particular left tackle Mason Cole. 41 career starts coming into today. Most reliable guys up front.
First down and goal for Michigan. Back in the red zone, which has been the issue all year. They toss it to Evans. He bursts downhill for the touchdown. And Michigan jumps back in front.
Well, here's the key to this play. A little bit of a misdirection, a flashback by the tight end. Watch McEwen. When he comes across, these guys flow as well, and it creates this gaping hole on the right side. Soft toss pitch, and Evans takes the rest of the way.
Quinn Nordine for the extra point. Michigan goes 86 yards in 11 plays and takes a 14-10 lead late in this 3rd quarter, looking for a 4-0 start. Got another one coming tonight, Michigan State, Notre Dame, when we finish. Seen very many returnable kicks today, and we won't there either. Elijah Sindelar back out there. We've only seen David Blau once since the 1st quarter on a trick play to open this 2nd half. They swing it out. Langford Johnson tiptoes his way into the 29 and stopped there by Devin Bush along with Josh Metellus and Khalid Hudson. Any chance you think we see David Blau again? Because it seems like Purdue has started to kind of stall out with Sindelar.
It's kind of tough to put David Blau in that position. You know, he hasn't played really, besides one play coming out of halftime for a trick play since the 1st quarter. So Sindelar's got the hot hand. He's probably the guy that has a better chance of leading you at this point, unless all of a sudden David Blau can really come in and find a way of getting them a spark.
Only a dozen yards in the 2nd half for Purdue's offense. Big Isaac Zico in motion, and it's fumbled. Sindelar able to hang on to it, but a loss back at the 16.
Well, it didn't look like Sindelar was ever looking at truly giving this football away. He stuck it out there to give the impression of a fake and then started to drop back, and it just hit Zico's either side or hit his elbow. These are the sorts of plays that you just can't afford to make if you're Purdue. This Michigan defense is too good.
3rd down and 18 after the fumble. A twist up front, able to collapse the pocket. Sindelar checks it down, and Herdman's belted out of bounds by Devin Bush. Incomplete. 4th down.
Every step of the way, Devin Bush was there. A sophomore out of Pembroke Pines, Florida. Wasn't fooled for 1 second. Herdman gave defensive end a little shove, a little nudge. Look at the closing speed by Bush.
It's another 3 and out for Purdue. 4th consecutive 3 and out. So Shopper has to do it again. Peoples-Jones. Fair catch at the 34. Late in this 3rd quarter. Michigan's defense taking control of this game in this quarter. First and another 3 and out, getting the ball to the offense at the 35. Well, Corn steps away from pressure, throws on the move to Grant Perry. First down into Purdue territory.
Can't say enough about the job that John O'Corn has done in stepping up in the pocket and buying more time with his legs, then really keeping his eyes downfield. You could see him just waiting for Grant Perry to get across the field once he found some room, and look at the eyes. Accurate football allows Grant Perry to catch and run for the big game. It's kind of been the story to me, at least with this Michigan offense in the second half, is O'Corn's ability to extend plays and finding guys downfield.
Extended a drive with a big 3rd down conversion, doing the same on that touchdown drive. First down from the 42. Out of the eye, they hand it off to Evans. The go-ahead touchdown. Chris Evans, a guy that started the season as the #1 running back, but seemingly had begun to be phased out. Just 5 carries against Cincinnati 2 weeks ago. Fumbled early against Air Force. Hardly saw him after that, but getting him right back into the fold this week. Pretty even balance between him and Isaac and Higdon.
From a powerhouse too in Indianapolis, Ben Davis. So I'm sure there's some hometown crowd here wanting to see him come in and do well.
Got a great finish coming for you in this one. 14-10 Michigan in the Big Ten opener in front of a sellout crowd in West Lafayette. 4th quarter coming up. Michigan in front of Purdue 14-10. Down to a quarter where they've dominated this season. And coming off a quarter where it's a stated emphasis of this team. So they've dominated the 4th, but Don Brown talks about a specific goal every game is throwing a shutout in the 3rd, and they do that here.
Yeah, and then they've really shut opponents out in the 4th quarter so far this entire season.
Second down 17, early stages of this 4th quarter. O'Corn to throw. Into a tight window, it's McCune, and a first down for the Wolverines inside the 20. What a day Sean McCune's having.
5 catches coming into the day. That's 5 catches on the day. He's going to work and find a little soft spot right there in the zone coverage of the Purdue defense. What a tight window. The confidence, the moxie of John O'Corn, the backup quarterback coming in, slinging it, now starting to really get into a rhythm.
O'Corn now 17 of 25, 245 yards. Replacing Wilton Spate. Back into the red zone, the Wolverines go. Over the first 3 games, 1 touchdown and 10 trips. They are 2 for 2 today. We saw him in the eye for a few plays, now an empty set.
Look at this coverage, though. All vulnerable on the back end.
His back foot, floating run. What an adjustment for the catch by Zach Gentry. Has a touchdown today and now has a reception of 25 on 1st and 25.
This is the gamble that you take when you have an all-out blitz, meaning you just have man-to-man coverage with no safety help in the back end.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, #4, with targeting.
11:20 left to go. They'll be without both the rest of the way.
The pressure that Garrett Hudson has on him to get this defense lined up. That's the responsibility that you have as a middle linebacker. You're the quarterback of that defense, and you're already missing Jacob Thieneman, who got ejected earlier.
Michigan with a chance to take a 2-score lead for the first time in this game. First down and goal inside the 5. Isaac straight ahead. Reaches his way to the 1. Second down.
This is where, if you're Purdue, you got to rely on that defensive front. The big boys, #9, Lorenzo Neal, #13, Jalen Robinson. Someone's got to get some penetration and make a play in the backfield.
Back to the ground and in for the touchdown. Isaac puts Michigan in front by 2 scores here in the 4th. So back-to-back scoring drives for John O'Corn. Jim Harbaugh's offense. And a 20-10 lead with the extra point coming from Nordine. (21-10) as Ty Isaac gets his first rushing touchdown of the season, and Purdue with an uphill climb here in the fourth. Ty Isaac's touchdown, back-to-back touchdown drives for the Wolverines, and the game's first 2-score lead.
The execution in the red zone, though, how about that? 3 red zone drives, 3 touchdowns, something that they really struggled with, and I don't want to put it all on Wilton's spate, but since John O'Corn has come in, this offense has executed pretty well once they've gotten down there.
It'll be interesting to see on the other side if they consider going back to David Blau. Purdue has gone nowhere in this third quarter with Elijah Sindelar. 9 plays, -10 yards. Anthrop bringing it out. Jackson Anthrop hits the sideline and runs out of bounds, crossing the 20. They start him in an empty set. And he goes down the sideline. Mahungu has it knocked away. Great coverage from David Long. 2nd and 10.
Textbook coverage by David Long. He was at the hip of Mahungu the entire time. And watch as he turns around to find the football, gets a hand on it. Can't do it any better than that. That's one of the reasons, too, why this defense is so special. They've got coverage players like that on the back end, so up front, they can be as aggressive as they want against the run. #1
pass defense in the country each of the last 2 seasons, and good again, even though they had to replace everything. Here's a screen. Wright can't get loose. Stopped by Mike McCray. It's 3rd down.
There was a lot of room to run if Mike McCray didn't get down right. That inside screen we've seen before from Purdue, in particular with Wright, for a big game, but sitting in 3rd and 5. 10 minutes left in this ball game. Big down here for David Blau.
Purdue 0 for 10 on 3rd down. Michigan brings 6. Blau steps into the pocket, throws through the hands of Terry Wright, who was trailed by Lavert Hill. 4th down.
You can't ask for a better ball than this. They set up a little rub route, so you're going to see players run over top, and then it's Wright coming underneath. I'll put the football right there. Terry Wright couldn't bring it in. That's hard as a play caller, because really now you're looking down at your sheet saying, what works for us at this point? You know, what can we have production in? Maybe to dip back into one of those special plays and gadgets at some point.
Joe Shopper's 10th punt. Might be his best one of the day. All the way back to the 24. On the fly, 51 yards. Michigan's offense back to the field, trying to grind some clock with a 21-10 lead in the 4th. Purdue's defense has to go back out there. They've been on the field for 15 of the 20 minutes in this second half, and they're depleted. No Juwan Bentley at inside backer. No Jacob Thieneman at safety. Both ejected for targeting. So the bigger Wolverines trying to pound away and grind this clock. Evans. 2nd down.
I mean, you hope that doesn't come back to bite Michigan at some point, and you don't see much of a commotion on the Michigan sideline, but I mean, that's just not a penalty.
Could have had the number wrong, I suppose. And
well, potentially, but even going back and taking a look, it didn't look like there was any other lineman downfield. And unless the tight end, I think in that play was Zach Gentry, unless he was covered up, which would deem him ineligible and unable to move downfield. That's the only thing I can think of. It was just the wrong number.
And Mike Pereira's taken a glance back in Los Angeles, and he saw that 83, Zach Gentry, was covered up and was downfield. So they just had the number wrong in the call. Hence lack of a reaction from the Michigan sideline. Corn in the boot, slips a tackler, and another, lowers the shoulder, right to the 1st down marker. John O'Corn showing all kinds of fight in this second half.
Michigan's been utilizing pretty much goal line personnel. 2 tight end, 2 running back, 3 tight end sets at times. So obviously, anytime you've got a playmaker like Crawford, that hurts, but rotate those wide receivers in, and they've got plenty of depth the way they played this football game.
And Nick Holt, the D coordinator for Purdue, knew that if they were able to stay in this kind of personnel, it'd be tough as that game wore on. Michigan continued to try and grind them with a size advantage.
Already implementing somewhat of a 4-minute offense. As you can see, John O'Korn, the Michigan offense is really taking their time to milk the clock.
From the 35, a first down handoff to Ty Isaac, who's out of bounds, and a flag flies with a late hit on Purdue. Those are the kinds of things Jeff Brohm talked about. They're not talented enough yet to afford the stupid penalties after the play.
I mean, this isn't even close, and it's unfortunate because Jalen Robinson's one of their best players. And I'm sure it's frustrating. It's been a physical, long game. But you can't allow your frustration, your emotions to get the best of you.
Enter the play. Personal foul. Defense, number 13. 15-yard penalty be added on the end of the run. Automatic. First down.
I mean, there's still enough time left where if you can get a stop and your offense can muster up something, it's probably the bigger question, but just no need for that.
How frustrating for Nick Holt. I mean, first, if John O'Korn breaking multiple tackles against your defense, running for a first down. And now one of your senior leaders called for a penalty after the whistle. Moves the ball to midfield. 7:46 and counting left in this one. Isaac. Got one. Stop from Antoine Miles.
Garrett Hudson was in on that tackle as well, number 16. Remember, Juwan Bentley's out. Jacob Thienemann's out.
Hudson, the guy that's in for Bentley. They put Jallo in for Thienemann. Maryland die here on the 2nd and 9, 7 minutes left. Evans has a hole and stays on his feet and explodes. Chris Evans to the house. Touchdown Michigan. To break it open with 6:46 left.
Well, this is just the power running game you like to see. TJ Jallo's going to have the one shot at it, but watch once Evans gets through the line of scrimmage. Away-new hoping to kind of clear it out, but once Jallo misses, there's nothing but green grass. It's 23-0 now. Jim Harbaugh has been when they've rushed for 100 yards. Take away the sacks, about 125 right now, already close to that number, but 23-0, undefeated when they rush for 100 yards.
You already given them today?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. And Purdue's offense struggling to get it going. Now down 3 scores. Evans pops loose. Michigan 6:46 from 4-0. A lot of Michigan fans will be tuning into that one too. And a touchback. Oh, 3-score game, 6:46 to go. David Blau stays in a quarterback and is ripped down by Chase Winovich. He loses 5. It'll be 2nd and long. We look at the AP top 10 and our first shakeup of the day with Oklahoma State fumble.
Yeah, another team losing today. Now it's 0-2 is number 12 Florida State. So some movement there in the top 25. But besides that, really don't see a whole lot of movement elsewhere. Ohio State with a big win over UNLV. JT Barrett kind of getting that offense back on track.
On 2nd down, Blau gets rid of it quickly. Spot on throw to Bryson Hopkins with a flag down as Hopkins battles his way to the 36.
You get to see this hit that Maurice Hurst had on David Blau.
Defense, number 10. Automatic first down.
Let's go back and take a look. Big number 73. Watch this. I mean, so quick to the inside. Really, neither offensive lineman decided to pick him up.
280 pounds driving into the turf. How's that feel?
With all that weight, all that power.
Yeah, 280 and on the move. They roll Blau out with a pump and go. He'll throw it away. Great coverage from Lavert Hill on Isaac Zico. Here's our Duluth Trading Company hardest working player, Devin Bush. Seemed like he was all over the place for an impressive Michigan defense.
Yeah, he really has been impressive. One of the leaders on this Michigan defense, and he's just so versatile. You see him blitzing, being able to get to opposing quarterbacks. He's good in pass coverage. Minus that pass interference we just saw play go. Heck of a player.
Second down, pressure coming. Blau stands in, throws incomplete. Off of the hands of Corey Holmes, and again Blau gets grilled.
This is starting to feel like my first start ever in college football here in West Lafayette.
Not a great memory, huh?
You'll watch big number 73 once again. Just look at the job that he's doing up front versus McCann and Steinmetz. They kind of run a little pick stunt there with Devin Bush that allows him to be freed up. So he comes right inside of number 53, the center, Kirk Barron. See Blau grabbing his right shoulder.
Third down, and Blau set. Purdue with an offer on third down today. Chase Winovich gets home with a 5th Michigan sack.
And Jeff Brom knew this all along. They weren't going to be able to win if they just could sit in the pocket. You'll see Winovich coming off the left side of your screen, working on Grant Hermans, who's playing banged up. But we talked about that. This defensive front was too good just to be able to sit there like a sitting duck. They had to have the ability to run the football. Haven't really done that. Or they had to move the pocket. And when they did that earlier in the game, there was some success. But right now, nothing going for the Purdue offense.
Boy, how impressive is a Michigan defense with 10 first-year starters? Not that none of them had seen any action, but still, significant roles for the first time and still shining in Don Brown's system. Inside the 5-minute mark, Michigan has begun to pull away. All Michigan in this second half. They trail 10-7 at the break. John O'Korn has executed a nice second half of offense and has them in front by a bunch here inside 5 minutes. Wilton Spade obviously left the game with an injury, but O'Korn has done all he can to make a case to be the guy moving forward regardless of Spade's health.
The biggest question coming into this game was their red zone execution. They were 1 for 10 scoring touchdowns, the worst in the Big Ten. Today they've been 100%. Dramatic improvement.
Evans on first down with a short O'Korn, 18 for 26 through for 270. But Evans again, third down. Easy Chuku with the tackle.
Third down.
O'Korn, the 5th-year senior. Played in 8 games a year ago. Started one when Spate was hurt. Didn't play particularly well. First chance here this season, and he's not been disappointed at all.
And I've been impressed with the way he's operated the offense. All those check with me's, where they decide which way they're running the football. He's done a good job of putting in the right play.
He runs here. Derek Barnes stopping Ty Isaac. And making it 4th down. Well, the punt team coming out. Which they were doing frequently during that first half, but much better at keeping drives alive here in the second, wearing that Purdue defense down. And Brad Robbins.
You're down by 18, but kind of surprised that Jeff Brom hasn't utilized some of the timeouts. Maybe wanting to give his team just an opportunity to keep kind of fighting to the end and save some time.
Jackson Anthrop slips and falls, making that fair catch. Terry Wright on a sweep, loses the football, And Michigan's got it. All but sealed the deal in this one with 2.5 to go. Noah Furbush falls on it. The first Purdue turnover of the afternoon.
Yeah, ultimately, just too many mistakes by Purdue. They couldn't afford to make this versus a more talented team. And you're going to see as Terry Wright starts to kind of turn upfield. Wrobleski ends up getting his arm around the football and ripping it out. Number 46. Look at his left arm. It almost looked like Terry Wright was looking to switch the football, and when you're in traffic like that, you just cannot do that.
Time and the first carry for Kareem Walker, and this Michigan team is about to move to 4-0, Brady, and they're going to have an off week next week and get ready for a big rivalry game with Michigan State.
The in-state rivalry, you know something about that, being from the great state of Michigan. So I think tonight they answered a lot of questions. Really their first true road test. You know, the game to open this season on a neutral site versus Florida. So tested their first road trip in Big Ten play. Their defense has been phenomenal like it's been all year. Really offensively getting back on track, running the football, kind of separating themselves in the second half. And third down and red zone, they were spot on, and they did it with a backup quarterback.
That was a big question coming into the week. Walker again on second down. 4-0 with the least experienced team in the country when it comes to returning starts. We'll have the bye week to get ready for the Spartans to open October.
You look down the rest of the schedule, it's a gauntlet. I mean, you got Michigan State in a couple weeks. Got some time to prepare, but then Penn State, then Wisconsin, Ohio State, 8 consecutive weeks to end the season. It's going to be tough. The good thing is, at least for Michigan fans, you got Ohio State coming up north.
That's always the thing, right? A lot of times your season's judged by what you do in that game.
You hit on it, though. 11 players drafted from Michigan in this past year's draft, the most of any school. The job that Jim Harbaugh's done recruiting, replacing those players, getting them coached up, getting them to 4-0. Pretty impressive.
What do you think of the one coming tonight up at East Lansing? Spartans and Fighting Irish. And, of course, FS1 has Washington, Colorado.
It's going to be a great game, hard-fought game. Obviously, both very good rushing teams. L.J. Scott, you see, from Michigan State leading the way. But Brandon Wimbush, his running ability, it's really the question of if he can complete the football at a higher rate. He can improve himself, kind of like John O'Korn has proven himself today.
270 yards for him as this clock winds down inside a half minute. And on fourth down, they throw to Maurice Ways, reaching his way. Let's see where they spot him. It is enough for a first down. Brandon Peters completing the pass.
Jim Harbaugh's got to be pleased with the way his team responded. In particular, John O'Korn being prepared. It's hard as a backup quarterback. Always having that mental prep, but then going in and executing in a live game scenario. John O'Korn did that today.
And Jim Harbaugh's team is off to a 4-0 start, coming in here to West Lafayette after trailing at halftime, dominating the second half, outscoring Purdue 21-0 after the break. 28-10 the final score. We're going to take a break, and we'll get you back to LA for more post-game coverage after these messages. And stick around. Michigan State, Notre Dame coming up in just a bit.